some great lineups for the Aussies, some interesting matchups, some tough ones, but also some opportunities. And I think we're in for an unbelievable event. Certainly, it could open up a whole new world for new champions, or the champions we know so well could be stopping the younger ones in their tracks like they've done so well the last 12 years. So, interestingly, at the top of the draw, the top four, you got potentially, if Ash wins and Gavrilova wins, they could play each other in the second round, two of the top Australian players. Talking about the women's draw, the top half, your top four there are Svitolina and Kenin, and could have, I think, Pliskova, sorry, and Barty. So Barty, Pliskova together, and Svitolina and Kenin would be interesting. Maddie Inglis, Aussie, plays Sophia Kenin, last year's champion, and I know Sophia lost to Muguruza today in what Muguruza played an unbelievable match of tennis. You would believe it was 2-2. It was a great match by her. There'll be an Aussie through, Destiny Aiva and Sam Stosur, the young playing our Grand Slam champion in Sam. And then the really interesting one on the first half for me is at the bottom. There's Svitolina if she wins and Coco Gauff if she wins. That'd be a really interesting second round match if they both get through. Coco Gauff is in this draw a sleeper for sure. On the bottom half is, Andreescu Bianca coming back from an injury, pulled out of the leading events, but she's been training well and been out for a year. Would really like to see her back and doing really well. And then, of course, this is a half with both Williams sisters. I think Venus plays Flipkins, and Serena dangerously in the middle, and she'll be in the quarter with Simona Halep. So that's almost like two halves of the draw, and that's going to be an interesting quarter. Simona plays an Aussie, Cabrera. Some of the Aussies are going to come to me and say, "Why do you do that for me, the draw?" But I think that'll be a great opportunity. Simona's playing some great tennis. There's about an even split. There's a couple on the women's side, a couple of Australians in the bottom half, and the rest are on the top half. So an opportunity for them. Onto the men's side, wow, some unbelievable first-round matchups. I even think Novak playing Shardy, the first round's not that straightforward. No straightforward matches really for anyone. And I think we got in that top half, you got Millman and Polmans as well, the two Aussies. Interesting going through. Novak played Sasha this afternoon, and it was three sets that Novak won. If they both win all the way through, potentially playing each other in the semis, because they're both in the quarters, top two, and Schwartzman and Dom Thiem. That's not much of a contrasting style with those two in that quarter. But first round there, I think that the two top first rounds, I think on the men's side, are both in that bottom quarter, and that's Dimitrov playing Cilic, semi-finalist a few years back. Finalist a few years back against Roger Federer, and then Shapovalov and Yannick Sinner. I think that's a definite one to watch. Two of the young stars of the future. One that's had more success recently than the other, but the other one that's coming through. A few others there. I think Bernie Tomics played Sugita probably about 20 times, so they're playing each other in the first round as well. Onto the bottom half. You got the Russians in that top quarter with Rublev and Medvedev, and that's round out not much contrasting styles, but interesting. You got Goffin and Batista Gut in there as well. Popyrin, tough first round. Alexis, an Australian's done well here, and he plays Goffin in the first round. Tsitsipas Simon could be an interesting first round, so I think that'll be fun to watch. Also some really interesting ones in Anderson playing Berrettini. Berrettini playing really good tennis, won again today. Kevin Anderson, a two-time Grand Slam finalist. And then right beneath that, Fognini playing, he's playing Herbert, and I think that's going to be a fiery and interesting one. And then, of course, I think the last interesting one for us is Australia's #1, Alex de Minaur, playing Tennis Sangren, that'll be an exciting match. So it's going to be an interesting decision on where we put all those matches. We're lucky here we have many show courts, so I think that'll be great. And then also we'll need to make a decision on which half of the draw, top half or bottom half, takes place over the course, probably the next 24 hours. We'll start to consider that. We did make a commitment to the harder lockdown players, those that have spent 2 weeks inside the room, to try and protect them as much as we can in the schedule and give them a later start as possible. May not be completely possible with everything, but the first round we played over Monday, Tuesday. Weather looks great this whole week, not that hot, nice and cool. and we really encourage our fans to come out and have a good time and be entertained on 3 zones: the MCA zone, Rod Laver Arena zone, John Cain Arena zone. See the best of the best in all the courts, guaranteed to see tennis, guaranteed to have a seat, and guaranteed to have premium hospitality. And we're about to launch tonight a celebration of all the artists of Melbourne, Victoria, and showcasing 12 of the best with their artwork around. We're having a function tonight on that. So action's about to start, so get out and buy your ticket, and it'd be great for you guys to talk it up, because it'll be helpful to remind everyone that we're back ready to play in a safe way. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Frank, what's your plan for Sunday in terms of scheduling, given the Australian Open starts on Monday? Will you go into Sunday night, or do you want to get the finals done during the day?
Well, we're doing well on the schedule, Shane. We've got, today we're definitely helped by the weather. It'll be tighter. There's some players are playing 2 matches today, and then 1 match tomorrow. The ATP Cup will finish for sure. We'll start 10 o'clock tomorrow, and then at 10 o'clock again on Sunday. So that'll be done. That's a big event. That's our biggest event of the 6 of them. The 2 women's events will be done on Sunday. We don't have any there's no inclement weather. We can finish on the indoor courts if we had to. So we'll definitely be finished by Sunday afternoon is the plan to be finished. And then we'll try and protect those players that are playing Sunday, not give them an early start on Monday. The really good thing is a lot of them have been not playing matches for 2 weeks. So they'll be able, this week they played for 8 days, and then be ready to play the Australian Open. So I think it's a perfect preparation. Will we see some upsets? I think we would naturally see some upsets because of the nature of these draws. Yeah, so the crowd capacity and the advice from the Department of Health has not changed. So we still, the first week, because there's so many options, there's 16 match courts, the crowds will be spread out more, and the second week will be contracted more to the stadium. So by the time we get to the end of the second week, we'll have stadiums that will almost seem full. But again, doing it in a safe way. Our fans will be wearing masks when they're indoors, and when they're outdoors watching, they won't. So a great opportunity for fans for these next 2 weeks to come and celebrate. Obviously, we never know. We wake up each day. You never know with this virus. It's a menace, and but our goal is to protect everyone first and foremost. Yeah, I see Rafa every day. He hit for an hour and a half today. He out of extra caution, he chose not to play the ATP Cup, even though Spain are in the semi-finals, playing against Italy. And I'm sure he'll show up and provide moral support to the team, but he's out practicing and he's indicated to be ready. He's protecting his opportunity to win a 21st Grand Slam. So he's tied with Roger at 20. Novak's just 3 behind. And on the men's side, there's a race for the all-time. And of course, Serena on 24 to try and break the all-time record. So I'm very proud of the fact that they're all here and ready to play and healthy.
Craig, is there anything that's changed since the Wednesday night's Hyatt COVID case, or are you completely back to plan A?
It's a good question, because I can never answer with any certainty what happens with this pandemic. As I said, you wake up every morning and we all have high levels of anxiety, but the first objective is to protect our fans, protect the players, and have all the protocols in place to do that. This will be one of the safest places to be in Melbourne when it comes to the next 2 weeks. We just don't know. We're pleased that everyone tested negative. As casual contacts, it was more or less an expectation, but you just don't know. So, but for whatever happened, I must say, and I want to take the opportunity to say this, the cooperation from the players and the staff was unbelievable. I think the realization from the playing group of the environment that we're playing in is a great deal of respect that they have for Melburnians, for Australians, for the hardships that we've gone through to get to this point. And I really want to encourage the community to take a step back a little bit and respect the fact that we have international guests here. We're going to do this in a safe way, and we're going to have a great time so we can look back in 2 weeks' time and say, wow, what a magnificent accomplishment this country's pulled off. And I know the media here and the international media will certainly be talking about it. So nothing's changed. We're still in Plan A, but Plan A has the assurance of safety so we can get people to come out, enjoy some entertainment, enjoy the great food, the local chefs, the local artists, the local musicians, the local tennis, and get to see international stars in action.
Sorry, a lot of people ask you why players aren't subject to extra testing now. I know that's a decision, but
health. Is there any movement there?
So any testing is always a decision for health. Any risk assessment is a decision for health, and we'll always follow the guidelines for health. Health did a magnificent job in turning around, getting a testing site set up, in turning around all those tests and doing the entire thing in 24 hours. And of course, everyone being negative was a great outcome, but I can't say that's going to be the same tomorrow or the next day. We'll keep monitoring it. And then absolutely, if any one of our fans or any player presents any kind of symptom, we have a fever clinic that they can go to here on the outside of the site. They can get tested and then go and isolate at home until the test result comes back. So all of that is set up, and you know, I think our plan is to continue to be safe.
You are an optimistic person by nature, Craig.
Yes.
Signs and thoughts that didn't get you.
I am optimistic, but I'm also realistic, and I'm also backed by the best team in the world. So with those things, I think you're going to always have a winning formula. And I'm very proud of the work that our team has done. I'm always going to be optimistic with them. I generally believe in the good and believe in the possibility. Always get challenged by when people say it's not possible. But we wouldn't be doing any of this if we didn't have the complete support of the government, the Victorian government, the federal government, and also the community. And I know we've been through some tough periods, but it's nothing we didn't expect. And we may go through some more. We may go through some more tough periods. As the Premier said so well, is that there's no such thing as no risk. There's always a little bit of risk, and our goal is to minimize that risk. So we'll get this done. We'll have 2 weeks of great tennis, and we'll do our best to make sure it's safe. Yeah, I mean, I think the past few days haven't been easy for anyone, but as I mentioned, the playing group, there was no, the players went from their accommodation, they got tested, they went back to their accommodation, they isolated till they got their results right through the night. You know, there was 49 negative tests, I can remember the numbers, then 114 negative tests, then 151, then 171, then there was a jump to 300. And then from about 1 a.m. this morning till 7 a.m. we got the rest done. So the whole group, I was incredibly proud of the players, incredibly proud of our staff. There's many of us that have had sleepless nights. There's a few that had 2 days and 1 night in one session, but that's just how it goes. And I think we're going to be there to pull it off. We're pulling it off here for Melburnians, for Victorians, for Australians, and for our fans. And that's why, you know, ticket sales have been going well. They go through periods when there's uncertainty, like yesterday, they were flat, and picking up again today. And I think on the weekend, you guys are going to talk it up, I know, and then picking up on the weekend, and next week when players start to play, it'll be great again. So I'm pretty confident we'll be in a good shape. But it hasn't been easy, but nothing good comes easy.
Great. We know Brisbane and Perth in the lockdown, or Sydney, we also had one case in the hotel. Is there any danger that if there is more local spread, not players, if the local spread, can Daniel Andrews send Melbourne into the lockdown like Brisbane?
I'm not going to speak for the decisions that the government makes, and I have full confidence in their decisions. They've got it right so far, and we'll continue to get it right in our view. We work closely with the government. Whatever decision they make, we'll adjust to. Regardless of what the situation is in the community, the event will go ahead because there's a number of different scenarios. Was mentioned Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. The event will go ahead.
I think Tsitsipas indicated that he probably would prefer to have the weekend off. Are you confident that it will be done and he will be there for the ATP Cup?
They have so far. There's the full weekend of matches, and Greece are out, so Tsitsipas is going to have the weekend off, and I think that and he'll prepare. He's got a couple tough matches in the first round, but what an exciting player. And the Greek community in Melbourne, amongst the biggest in the world, and you saw when he came out and played, and I think we're going to have the entire Greek community here on Melbourne Park watching Tsitsipas. I personally love his tennis, and I think an exciting star of the future.
Is there any restriction on crowd behaviour? We talk about big events and no chanting, and they don't want people yelling, and that we often get that here at the Australian Open. Is there any restriction on that, or have you been advised?
We haven't been advised of any restrictions on the crowd. We want the crowd to come out and have a good time. We're proud of our tennis crowd, and I think we are showcased for the rest of the world in tennis events, and I'm pretty confident that our crowd will be well behaved and do the right thing. They're going to be physically distanced as they sit in the stadium, so they're going to feel safe, moving around the whole precinct, our 3 zones, which are beautifully set up. Some of you have seen them already, so I don't think we'll have any issues.
Just to clarify on Rod Laver, when the roof's closed and it's an indoor venue, that does mean mask wearing?
No, when the roofs are closed at this point, the advice is no mask wearing when you're sitting in your seat and you're enjoying the tennis, whether the roof's open or closed. Of course, when you go into the indoor areas, you put your mask on. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.